happened in your life years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just a dope feeling to know that I created feelings for people that won't go nowhere.
That's fire, man. And at what age you started, like, you had that?
Producing?
Yeah. Oh, no. Just in contact with music. Like
I DJ'd first, so.
Oh, word?
Like 16, started DJing. And like, I was a DJ at local shit, high school, talent shows, shit like that. And when I went to college, my first boss.
Went to Howard, right?
I went to Howard. My first boss in the spot that I worked at was fucking with New Bull. You know the basketball nigga?
Nah, you dead ass or
yeah, because he owned a bar that I DJ'd at. So that was my first bar. Like, I used to work there like 3 times a week. I would just come there and DJ and shit, and they would have like big parties every Friday and Saturday, and then like I think I would DJ on like a Wednesday real slow, you know what I'm saying? And then I started doing other clubs in DC and shit started picking up. Then I got into a situation at college, I got into like big ass brawl in college, and I just left because police, you know, like police got involved and all types of crazy shit. I left, and when I came home, my man that lived at the block, my man Thriller, he had bought an MP. And he was going to Trinidad for like 5 days, and I remember asking him to hold the MP. And I just got busy in 5 days and made like 2 bullshit beats on there. And I brought it to, my man brought me to this nigga, Todd Terry's crib, house producer. I went to his crib, he said he needed some music. I played him the 2 beats I had, he said, how much you gonna charge me? I said, man, give me like $1,000 for each beat, but I'm bugging, I didn't know what the fuck I was saying, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never sold a beat before. He was like, he nigga looked at me for a minute, he was like, alright, hold on. And he goes in his bag, I guess it's safe. Nigga came back with $2,000. You know when a nigga got break, because $2,000 looked like...
It was wrapped.
Yeah, wrapped, plus it looked like it was like $300, how pressed it was.
Yeah.
Like, it was just niggas like, yo, right. The nigga was like, yo, bring me some more beats. I said, yo, I don't got no equipment, man. I borrowed this from my own boy. He said, where you from? I said, I'm from the Bronx. So the nigga was like, what's your address? I'm like, what my address for? He said, where you from? Where in the Bronx you from? So I tell him about, I want to say about 4 or 5 days later, this nigga sends me like $20,000 to $30,000 worth of equipment to my crib. Beat machine, computers, mics, all types of shit.
So I wanted to ask you, so when you got the MPC, like, did you know how to mess with it, or you was just like...
Nah,
you were learning as you go.
Learn on the fly. Learning on the fly.
Yeah, do you know, like...
But I used to DJ, so it's kind of like...
How many, like, you changed, like,
and I think that's what it was. Like, look, I'm a stubborn dude. I hate reading instruction manuals. I hate watching how to do YouTube. I don't like none of that shit. I like figuring shit out. You know what I mean? I like using my brain to figure out how to use shit my way. Right. Not the way the instruction manual tells you to use it. So I think that played a big part in how my sound kind of turned into what it is, because I used the machine the way I knew how to use it, not the way the book said to use it, do this, do that. So, and I think that helped in my sound, and it still helps in my sound.
So you basically made the shit work for you?
1,000,000%. Like, I have, to be honest with you, I'll have niggas come through here that's probably not as accomplished as me, and they'll show me shit on that machine I didn't even know it could do. But I don't care about that, because I'm never gonna do that. Because my style, I don't need that for my style. You understand? Like, I just use it for what I use it for. None of that, I don't need no extra shit. Some niggas need the extra shit. I just know how to use the shit that I have to make it work for me. You understand? Like, and I think that's what everybody should do. With anything. Whatever you have, use the tools that you have to build the shit you need built. It's that simple. Don't go outside looking for tools that you don't even know how to use anyway. Use the shit that's right in front of your face and make what you got. Right. What they say, use what you have to get what you want. That's what it is.
But I wanted to get into your production process. So you were making a soundtrack for a generation at a time where you were doing stuff with Dipset, right?
Right.
And Dipset was a part of Rockefeller. And were you around Kanye, Just Blaze, those other guys?
1,000,000%.
What was that dynamic like?
That's what kept everybody sharp. Think about it, man. It's like Kobe having to go up against Mike. Rest in peace to Kobe, by the way. But that's like Kobe having to go up against Mike, and then Kobe having to face LeBron, and it's only gonna make you better. Because nobody wants to come in second place. Because the studio sessions wasn't like now, where you email a beat and you don't even know what the other person feels about it until they call you later. Before, it was every producer in the studio playing beats in front of each other for the artist. So if your shit was trash,
At baseline.
Right.
Okay.
If your shit was trash, you had to be embarrassed in front of everybody.
That was pressure.
Of course it was pressure, but that's the type of pressure I like. I like that type of shit. Because I believe in my shit that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the proof is in the pudding. Like, I had 11 records on the first Diplomatic Community, 12 on Joel's first album. I did records with Wayne, Flip, everybody. I've done records with a bunch of niggas. So
the
Resume steep.
and a lot of times I don't run it down because I don't like to sound like one of them niggas. Like, I did this, I did that. But I think a lot of people don't really know. You know what I mean? Like, I did a lot of shit.
And that's another thing why, so one of the reasons why I started this podcast is because a lot of people just lack communication, conversation, or information. So I believe that through conversation, people can learn, and that's one of the reasons why I said that I want to, just try to highlight you because, like I said, man, you played like your
An integral part, because
like,
I'm gonna let you.
like you literally like played a role in like I know you played a role in my life, in Beloved's like in a whole other people's life. You feel me? So that's why I felt like I had to like see if I could just wrap it up because I feel like people need to like know that.
Yeah, and if anybody tell you hit me, I'm not one. You know what I mean? If you approach me right, I'm always gonna hit you back. We gonna make it work somehow. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, you just gotta come in.
How you get down with Dipset? Like how did that relationship come about? And first of all, your production for Jim's last album.
El Capo. Thank you.
The joint with Ross.
Oh, State of the Union.
Ooh!
We got El Capo Part 2. We working on El Capo Part 2 right now. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was telling my boy the reason why I fuck with Jimmy is because he ain't start off as a rapper.
Yeah.
He was directing,
Jimmy's a hustler, man.
He worked.
He work at whatever he want. He's gonna get good at whatever it is. Jim is just that type of dude. 1,000,000%. But with Dipset, yeah, there was a dude by the name of Renee McLean that was he used to work records on radio. So me and a couple friends of mine brought him some music that we wanted played on the radio from some artists we were working with, and he was like, "What do y'all do?" And I said, "We produce." He said, "Yo, I manage Cam. Give me some beats." I always kept beats on me. I gave him a CD with like 20 beats on there. He brings it to Cam. They hit me up and they picked 9 of them ended up on Diplomatic Community off of that CD.
So when you found out that you had 9 joints on there, how you felt?
No, we did 11 at the end of the day.
11.
But 9, he picked 9 off of that CD. I don't know, cause you gotta remember, with the exception of Cam, Dipset was a brand new group at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like, I didn't know what to expect. I just knew Cam was in the mix, this shit was gonna work somehow. In my head, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't later on until I really got to know Jim and I really got to know Joel's, but the shit just took off. Nobody knew I didn't know it was gonna do that. I was just giving them records. I didn't even know how much he was gonna use on the album till one day we in the studio. And I don't even know if Jim remembers this. Jim had out like a yellow pad and he's like, "Yo, who did Dipset Anthem? Heatmakerz. Yo, who did My Love? Heatmakerz. Yo, who did I'm Ready? Heatmakerz." And then to the point he's like, "God damn, Heatmakerz gonna make more money off this album than me." Because we just did so much shit on a double album. It wasn't, remember, it was 2 albums.
Yeah.
I think it was 16 records if I'm not mistaken. 2 albums, 16 records. And there was skits involved.
Yeah, it was good.
You know what I'm saying? So we did like damn near 85% of that album.
So, while you're going through that journey, right? How did your life change when you realized you pretty much curated the entire project?
With the
Socially, financially.
Yeah, I'm about to say, with the exception of money, my life money changed 1,000,000%. You know what I'm saying? Money changed. Because back to back doing 2 full albums, money had to change.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, everybody wanted to work with us at that time, from people in the street that just had brown paper bag money to dudes that were signed to other labels, you know what I'm saying? So the money was there, so the money was the biggest change.
Okay.
And learning how to keep your head with money. You know what I'm saying? Like
expound on that.
And keep working.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you could get comfortable and get money and say, "Yo, cool, I'm always gonna get money," which we all fall in. Not even the humble side of it, because I always stayed humble.
No,
But
hungry.
Oh, hungry. Okay, yeah, the hunger side of it. Because when you get money, you don't gotta wake up and make beats all day long anymore. You can say, you know what? Let me go buy this or buy that, or go look at this new crib, or look at this new stupid shit that you might not need at the time, but you got the money to do it. So you got to learn how to balance the two and learn that this money really don't last. The shit is like an illusion. You get it, but keeping it is the real shit. It's not getting it. Anybody can get it. Can you keep it?
Yeah.
So once you learn that shit, it's like, you know what I mean? But that's the biggest hurdle to overcome at the beginning of the whole shit. Is learning how to keep a level everything. A level bank account, a level head, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything. Emotions, all of that shit. Because all that shit plays a part. Because I'm a creator at the end of the day. So if my head ain't right, I can't really create to the best of my ability. And I don't think no creator can. You need a certain level of peace to be able to create.
I was just gonna ask you that, like, how is it, like, how's your creative process? Like, when you come in, like, you told me, you know, before you just had your other baby girl, your other newborn, you said you were spending 18 hours, you know, now you spend 13 hours. So you come in here, what is it like? You hear something in your head and you're like...
No, I just I treat it like a job. So I'll get in here at a certain time every morning or around that time, and you know, whether I get something to eat, chill out for a minute, watch a little TV just to chill out, and then I'll listen to some music, whether it's shit I did the day before or current shit that's out, whatever it is, and it'll just click. So at some point it'll be like, all right, it's time to start working. Because I won't start working right now. It might be like 2-3 hours before I start working, or sometimes it might be right away. It just depends. But once the process starts, it's just off to the races. It ain't really. You gotta remember, I've been doing this shit for the better part of 20 years. So I don't gotta think no more when I make music. That shit is a feel for me now. I don't think about this shit. It's just, if the feeling is right, the music is right.
So I was like, where? So one diplomatic community, man. Am I ready?
I'm ready. Yeah.
I'm ready. That's my joint. Like, how you came? Like, how did that come about?
That was I remember when I went down to a record store that was in like the Village at the time just to listen to some samples and shit. And that was the first record I picked up and I put on the turntable to listen to it. And as soon as I put the needle down, the first thing I heard was, I'm ready to learn. I sped the shit up and it sounded crazy, and I'm like, I didn't even want to buy shit else. I'm like, I just got to take this home. This shit is too crazy. I didn't buy shit else. I got back in my car, went home with that one record, made that beat in about, no exaggeration, about 15 minutes. And after I made the beat, I just sat there and listened to that shit by myself for 2 hours straight on loop. Like, this shit is insane. I don't understand who's gonna rap on this shit because it has a different swing, but I just know this shit feels incredible. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's when I base my shit off of. If the feeling is right, like, that shit is a classic to me.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? It's because of that feel. You can't match that.
To a generation.
You can't match that feel. It's hard to really mimic that feel. You know what I'm saying? So.
No, you said it's a classic to you. I'm gonna give you a backstory. I'm not from New York City. I'm from Boston.
Okay.
And that era of time, 01 to like 08, there was even a club in Boston called the Diplomat. And I feel like it had a lot to do with the movement you guys were pushing.
Yeah.
Even my crew of homies growing up, it was like 7 of us. We called ourselves DLS, the Diplomatic League of 7. We had the guard. I didn't do the rags or anything, but it was like in Dorchester, Roxbury, Brockton, New Bedford. Everybody was cranking, you know.
And that's why I'm big on the feel, man, because I know the way y'all felt when you heard the music is the way we felt in the studio making the music.
Yeah.
It's like, that shit is like, it's almost electric, man. I can't explain it. It's like,
I could just imagine that.
Because look, I don't know music theory. I don't know none of that shit. I'm not classically trained. I just know what feels right. And that's all I've been going on for the last 20 years. I don't think niggas understand that. I'm not a nigga who took lessons and learned how to. I'm not niggas that took lessons and learned how to do this or learn how to do that. I didn't learn none of that. I just base my shit off of what does it feel like. If the feeling is right, we good money.
And that's all that matters.
1,000,000%. Because think about it, if you break it down on a deeper level, when you buy music now, what are you really buying? You're not buying nothing tangible. You can't hold on to CDs no more. You're downloading, right? So what are you buying it for? For the feel, right? So that says everything. If it feels right, they'll listen to it again. Because it's like drugs. They want that feeling again. If it gave it to them one time, they would want to be able to press repeat, listen to it again 20, 30, 40 times. But you got to give them that feel first. It's like you talking about State of the Union. When I made that beat, I knew already. I said, bruh, that shit sets the tone. And then when my man put the hook on there, I said, this shit it's out of here.
He's nasty.
Yeah, my man Mark is a beast. Big shout out to Mark.
Mark is nice,
yeah.
Boy. He played the piano too, man.
I gotta play out some records off of El Capo too. With Mark and
yeah. He's dope, man.
Yeah.
And I like how they had him in fucking Kingdom and shit like that.
Nah, the piano and the Kingdom. Yeah, big shout out to Mark.
Yeah, man. But go ahead.
So in terms of this, the previous generation that you curated music for, right?
Right.
Is there an artist or a movement now that we're in 2020 that makes you resemble that time, or someone that like you have your eye on?
The closest thing would be Griselda.
Okay.
That would have to be the closest thing as far as I see out there, like movement wise, and kind of just doing whatever they want to do, and people recognizing that and fucking with it. It would have to be Griselda.
They picked up heavy too.
Yeah, because and what I respect about it is that they don't give a fuck. They just do whatever they feel like doing, and they winning off of that. And that's what this music shit is. Fuck what everybody else is doing. Like when me and Jim did El Capo, I didn't give a fuck what anybody else was doing. I just knew what I wanted to hear. You understand? And then in turn, people love that shit. If you do it right, they gonna love it. No matter what it is, you just gotta do it right.
Gems, man, I love it. This.
So, you still have a great working relationship with Jim. Yeah. What's your dynamics like with the rest of the collective?
Perfect. Me and Cam been talking about doing
And I know you just did something on his last.
Yeah, I did. I did 3 records on there. I did the intro, Toast to Me. I did a record called Fast Lane, and I did what's the name of the other record again? I can't remember the name. It's right before Fast Lane, and it's one of the singles he had put up. I don't remember the name, but yeah, I did 3 records on there, and but I got to lock in the whole project with Cam.
I know you got something in the stats with Joel's. I know that for sure.
1,000,000%.
Have you communicated with him since he's?
I haven't spoken to him since.
Okay.
I haven't spoken to him since, but I think that's mandatory when he come home that we gotta. Okay. You know.
Yeah.
Because I think out of everybody, we had the craziest chemistry when it came to making music. You know what I'm saying? So I'd love to do that. I mean, he know that.
I'll be fine.
So I remember getting introduced to you guys from the whole Smack era.
Right.
And it seemed like it was a collective of
I was just talking about that today because I was trying to prove to somebody I was the first person to get the MPC popping online.
We was just talking about that.
Because there was a couple niggas on my page like, yo, how about this person? How about you're bugging? Show me footage. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. We living in a digital age now, right? You can email me some shit. Email me the footage. That's it.
I used to be.
You don't gotta argue. You don't gotta write nothing in the comments. Just email me the footage and I will go on my page and personally apologize to you. Just show me the footage. Yeah. But here's the key though. Show me the footage of something that they cared about.
You showed us your magic trick to a certain extent.
Right.
And a lot of other producers or people who think they're producers took it and ran with it.
Oh yeah, I get it. And at the end of the day, it's like, the people that don't show you the tricks to the trade are insecure people. People that don't believe in their own talent. Mm-hmm. Me showing you something don't take nothing from me. Yeah. You understand? Like, and people that think the other way around, those are, I can't understand that train of thought, because it's like, I'm still gonna get better on this shit. I'm still gonna be nice. I'm still gonna put in my 13 hours a day. Yeah. If I show you something, are you gonna do the same shit as me? Probably not. Well. So what am I worried about?
My work, I can show you, but I'm
it's about the conductor, not the instrument.
I can show you a little clip on the gram, but can you match the other 13 hours behind that? You probably can't. Yeah. You probably can't sit in front of this shit for 10 out of the 13 hours and just work. I could do that. You understand? Like, and that's the difference.
We were discussing your process when you found the record
Right.
And you sampled it. So, from a business perspective,
Right.
How does that work?
how does that work? Clearances, publishing. Do certain estates give you a hard time with getting certain things cleared?
Like I'm Ready took 100%. Barbara Mason took that whole record, but it was worth the sacrifice because it drove the album, along with Dipset Anthem, to help drive the album. So it's worth it to sacrifice that one lamb for the greater good.
So just so our audience can understand, when you say the artist took 100%.
All right. So here's publishing. Right. There's the mechanical side, and then there's the performance side.
Okay.
The mechanical side is if I sample Barbara Mason and her physical voice is on the record, then I sample the master. I have to pay her for the master side also, along with the pub side, with the performance side.
Okay.
So it's two sides, right? So they hit you on both sides. They'll say, all right, cool, we want, to clear the master, we want 15 grand. And we want, for the performance publishing side, we want fucking 80%.
Of whatever is generated
from that record.
Okay.
Or whatever the portion of that record is worth on the album.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But again, sometimes it's worth it if you have, I had 10 other records.
I mean, the fact that you're willing to say who the sample was,
Right.
a lot of producers aren't willing to even share that.
I see somebody just redid I'm Ready for Yo Gotti the other day and put trap drums on it. He just put it out yesterday.
What? Nah, I gotta hear that.
Yeah.
Nah.
They reached out to you?
No.
Oh.
So how does that work?
Yeah.
It's a sample. So at the end of the day, they got to reach out to Barbara Mason.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And she's going to, more than likely, her people are going to do the same shit, take 100%. You know what I mean? So it just depends, man. But at the end of the day, it's still one of those things where it's like a bittersweet thing where you're like,
right,
come on.
But it shows your impact.
Yeah, and that's the good side of it, because I don't think it was done with any ill intent. You know what I'm saying? I just look at it like, damn, God, you know, you could have reached out to me, nigga. I'm right here. You could have hit me on the ground. I'd have did that shit. You could have bodied it.
Another thing, right? So you've probably made tens of thousands of beats.
Right.
Are there records that you thought that you created that were amazing that you couldn't get cleared?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to remember the artist, but I had a record with back then with Jewels and Ashanti that was dope, and they couldn't clear the sample. It was, I'm trying to remember who it was. It's gonna come to me. But yeah, we couldn't clear that sample. Then what else did I do that I couldn't get cleared? I had a matter of fact, they put it out online, but we had a record with Cam where I sampled R. Kelly, and R. Kelly's people wouldn't clear the record. Crazy enough.
Ash, yeah, extremely. So now, like, where do you get like some of the inspirations, I guess, for some of the production? Like, do you go back and like listen to like old music, you know, like?
I listen to everything. So I could be in a restaurant and I hear a song playing through the speakers and I Shazam it and I'm like, oh, that's crazy. I could be watching fucking a TV show and the music in the background. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then I might try to find it, Shazam it, whatever I gotta do, or like, it'll be weird places. I could be watching a sports highlight reel on YouTube and hear something in the background like, what the fuck is that rock record? And then I'll find it, and you understand, like, yeah, there's no real madness to that method. It's just, my ears are just always open listening to shit, no matter what it is.
So, you had mentioned in the hallway you went to Howard and you were DJing.
Yeah.
Did go-go music influence your production process at all?
No. Nah, go-go music, I never could really get with it at the time, but I had to play it as a DJ because I was in DC.
Yeah.
That shit is just different. But the bounce might teach you something without me even knowing. Maybe I did pick something up off of that, but I wouldn't say so. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say I got anything from that. You know what I'm saying? And no disrespect to go-go, because you know, go-go music, there's a bunch of people that fuck with it.
Yeah.
I was just a hip-hop reggae dude myself. Yeah, it wasn't my thing at the time.
So, I mean, you have a layered journey, right? So, and you know, you said you went to Howard. That's not...
I went to Howard with Guru. Guru was a year ahead of me. Who else was there? Rich Harrison. Remember Rich Harrison that did, he was in school with me. Who else? was a bunch of people I went to school with. I'm trying to remember their name. Oh, homeboy that just played Black Panther, Chad Boswick.
Yeah.
Me and him was in the same dorm. We came in the same year.
So it was a renaissance of...
Yeah, but nobody knew what nobody was gonna do. It was just kind of like, and it's bugged out to look back now because you like, damn, like Guru off doing great things. Fucking Chad, you see what the fuck he's doing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably in the bottom of the totem pole, but I'm good with where I'm at.
Culture, yeah.
You understand? Like I'm good. I have no complaints. But
so, I asked you about how it's
huge part in the culture, man.
Yeah, I asked you about that because my sister went to Howard, so I'm in DC.
Word?
All the time.
What year was she there?
She was 2007.
Okay, yeah, I was going long gone.
Yeah. So, and I think Howard and hip hop have a
right. I used to tell people Howard is perfect, man. If you just remove the classes.
Yeah. That people told me I should have transferred.
Because don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Go to school, do what you got to do. Yeah. But Howard is a great place to learn how to network, how to build up relationships, how to do other things outside of just the academic part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like you really learn how to build relationships at Howard.
So the reason why I'm touching on that, you know, anybody who knows anything about academia, that's not a slouch school.
No.
So clearly,
I went for architecture.
Academics.
Yeah, I went for architecture.
I mean, you're a musical architect, so
yeah.
kind of
every studio I've had, I've designed every studio I had.
What?
Yeah.
So what made you choose Howard though, coming from the Bronx?
I just wanted to get away, man. And Howard was just, the name was popping. And I was like, let me apply for the School of Architecture because my guidance counselor in high school was like, what are you good at? I said, I can draw and I'm good at math. She was like, go for architecture. I'm like, all right, cool. I didn't really have a clue what I wanted to do. So I went there, signed up for architecture, got in, did 4 years of a 5-year program. On the 4th year, that shit happened. I told you about, like, a fight broke out. I got kicked out of Howard. Well, not really kicked out. I kind of left on my own, but started doing music and we're here. With all the extra shit in between.
You grew to have the success you have as a producer.
Right.
Do you ever feel like production needs to be more readily available across more colleges rather than just an art school? And if you do think so, would you want to possibly institute a program in schools centered around production?
Funny thing is, I'm actually for the first time doing, like, I have 2 master classes lined up. One that's coming up in a week and one 3 weeks after that. They're sold out already, which is a good thing, obviously. But the way I would teach a class wouldn't be the traditional way. You can't teach music. You can't teach a feel. It's impossible. Right. It's about feeling. Like numbers. Music ain't about numbers. If it was about numbers, everybody could do it. Everybody can't do it.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, and that's the misconception with music is because equipment is readily available. You can record yourself. There's shit like auto-tune. People believe that everybody can do it. You can't. It's about a feel. If you can't create that feel, you can't make music. And it's not a bad thing. Some people aren't meant to make music.
Yeah.
So the way I would kind of teach it is more based off of, like I said, off of feel and everybody learning their own process. I can't teach you your process.
Yeah.
Your process was whatever gonna make you comfortable. I can't teach that. You gotta learn that on your own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so again, I would teach something, but I'd have to.
I mean, that could be the opening statement you say in a class too.
Right.
So they can understand and trust themselves.
That is what I would tell them. Because at the end of the day, what happens is when you first start making music, people make you feel insecure. They make you feel like, yeah, that's cool, but I would have did this. Yeah, I'm sure you would have, but you're not me, nigga. That's why you didn't do that. That's why I did it.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, people are so concerned about how they would have did it or how they want it to sound. It ain't about that. It's about your feeling, and then the people the like-minded people that feel like you are gonna come around.
Yeah.
And that's your fan base. Right, and that's your fan base. People get it fucked up and think that not everybody has to like your shit. That's the beauty of the world. Yeah. There's billions of people here.
You have choices.
Right. If I only got 1 million fans, I'm good with that.
I'm straight.
You understand? Like, I don't need the other 999. I don't need that. Just give me the 1 million and I'm cool. Some people think that everybody's supposed to like this shit. Yeah. It don't work like that.
So, another question I was gonna ask you, because we don't want to take up much of your time, which
So
I fucking appreciate the shit out of it.
Oh, no, my brother.
You've been in the game for a while.
Right.
So throughout your career, have you ever felt a moment where like you couldn't like create, like you was just like struggling, like trying to?
I would never say I hit a point where I couldn't create, but I hit a point where I felt like I wasn't evolving. And that's almost as bad as not being able to create, because you feel like you're almost being repetitious. You know what I mean? Like you're doing the same shit over and over again, and you don't want to feel like that as a creator. So I have hit those moments. And for those moments, it's all about, to me, it's about experimenting and doing new shit, maybe buying new equipment, rearranging shit in your studio. Like, I'm just big on that. Like, if the scenery changes, I believe your music changes. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's about a feel. You feel different in different spaces in your crib. You feel different in different spaces in the city. So your mind is going to change. You don't think the same in Miami that you think in New York. You can't. It's a different scenery. The weather's different. The people look different. The stores are different. You understand? Like, all of that plays a mood in making projects to me. Like me and Jim did some of the project in New York, some in Miami. You know what I'm saying? You get different feels from different spots. Like State of the Union was actually done in Miami. You know what I'm saying? We did that in Miami. We did what else we did in Miami? State of the Union and no, we did Mama Made It in New York. It was State of the Union and one more record. Was it the Fab record?
I was just about to ask, was it the Fab?
No, I'm lying. I did the Fab record in New York too. It'll come to me too, man. I got too much shit to be thinking about, man. Shit in my brain.
So I have another question. I have another question in regards to business, right? Mm-hmm. So you were at that time the apex of your career before streaming,
right?
And there was a lot less independence. People relied on the labels for validation. Mm-hmm. Now we're in an era of streaming,
right? And but it was a nasty transition.
So
nasty trend. That's the transition when you didn't hear shit about Heatmakerz.
So what
during
was
those
that
years?
Like? Yeah.
It was just a lot going on. It's like you're used to making money one way, and then the game switches, and you can't make money that way no more. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to break out of certain habits and kind of jump into the new shit when the new shit ain't even all the way worked out yet. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like Apple Music and all that shit, they didn't understand how to really control streaming when they first started doing it. It was kind of like, fuck it, let's just do it. The artist wasn't even getting paid right. So if they didn't figure it out, how the fuck were you supposed to figure it out? Yeah. So for me, it was a nasty transition. But, you know, luckily after all the years and different projects and streaming really being worked out and different platforms popping up like Spotify and Tidal, now there's more order and more organization, you know what I'm saying?
So how do you feel about the state of the business now? Do you feel like it's more in favor of the creative? Or is the prior? Because the thing is, the fact that you're a producer.
Alright, so if you can answer this question for me, then what's a song worth online? Like, let's say we go to Apple Music, right? And I got a single. We're not talking about downloading a stream. What's the price of a real stream? What's a stream worth on any platform?
I honestly don't know.
And there's a lot of people that don't know. Because they're all different. Yeah. Your price is different on Spotify. It's different on Apple Music.
It's different on Tidal.
Right. So with that being said, there really is no real value. So is it better? I can't even answer that question because I don't know the price of music no more. I just know what they choose to give me. You understand?
So it sounds like you liked it better when it was the big budget from the label.
I'm not even saying that because I make good money now off of streaming. But what I'm saying is, who's to say I'm not supposed to be getting 3 times that?
You probably are.
Who's making those laws?
Yeah.
Nobody can ever tell me that. Right. Mm-hmm. Who is determining the numbers of a stream? Who is this magical person that we've never seen before? Mm-hmm. Yeah. At least when we had CDs, we saw $9.99. Boom! I knew what the fuck I was buying. Mm-hmm. We can tally up the numbers. You sold 1 million. That shit was $9.99. You made X amount. Boom! It's over. Mm-hmm. Now, who's counting these fucking streams? Computers, right? Counting these streams. Yeah. Computers can't be manipulated somehow?
Yes.
So how we know if the numbers are real?
Yeah.
First of all, we don't know the numbers that they're giving us and then we don't know if the total numbers are real. So what the fuck is really going on? You understand? Like, but at the end of the day, I guess that'll work itself out sooner or later. That's why you see people like, I think it's Taylor Swift. Her shit ain't on nothing. If you want to hear her music, you gotta go to her website. Because she said, fuck it, I'm controlling the narrative to my own shit. Y'all niggas ain't putting a price on my shit.
Everybody getting all this money.
Right. All my money gonna come right to me. She's doing it the right way. And then most people don't have the power to do that. So you kind of gotta play the game. Especially if you want to be popular. Because they're also giving you a platform. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, my brother. So it is what it is.
In terms of TV and film soundtracks,
right?
What's your career been like
with that?
Yeah,
I've done a couple joints here and there. Like I did a theme song to a TV show called Hong's World a while back. I did some music in the Uncle Drew movie. I've done some. Yeah, I did. It was the Dipset record. I did that record.
Oh yeah, it was for the Uncle Drew joint.
Then I've done some Reebok and Nike commercials. You know what I mean? And plus I got some shit about to be placed now with cause I'm with Sony Publishing and they do like writing sessions where we do writing for commercials and TV shows and shit like that. So I'm in the mix with that type of shit too.
So yeah, you've diversified your.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had to, man. I'm around so much different people that it's like, either you kind of get in the mix or you just alienate it somehow.
Yeah.
But you also said, you know, when I asked you that question about, you know, that moment of not creating, you was like, you felt you wasn't evolving. But now you being around other people, you know, you're
I think now I'm challenging myself. Because I'm the type that if there's something I know I got to do, even if it isn't in my comfort zone, I'm going to figure out how to do it. Like right now, I'm working with Macy Gray. You know what I'm saying? And you can't even picture that combination. I know you can't picture that combination. Nobody can.
Well, I mean, I like to put certain things together.
And let me put it like this for you. I don't know how far back your musical shit goes, but I got a record with, before this new record with Macy Gray, I got a record with Macy Gray, Sheila E., and Dave Navarro. On the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Sheila E.'s on the drums. Yeah. Like she kind of went over my drums, you know what I'm saying? And Dave Navarro playing the guitars, and this is fire. It's fire.
And you, so you're into making more. I call those type of moments gumbo, putting ingredients together.
I just want to make shit that sounds fire. Add mine, you know what I mean? Like when I'm working with people like that, come on, like Sheila E.'s a legend, Dave Navarro's a legend. You gotta just bring whatever you bring to the table and hope they fuck with it. Macy Gray's a legend. You know what I mean? You just gotta just bring your shit, bring whatever you bring to the table and hope they say, I fuck with this. That's really all, but I'm just happy, man. I'm happy to still be active.
And you know, guys like us who grew up on your stuff, this is a moment of atonement. For us.
I'm gonna be honest, this is a highlight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is a highlight.
It's a bucket list.
Like I need you to really understand
moment for
this
us.
is definitely a highlight.
Now I appreciate that y'all feel like that.
Yeah.
Nah, man, seriously.
I mean, my work didn't go in vain.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. Man.
Because if you went to college dorm rooms, whether you was at UMass, Dartmouth, UMass Amherst, Bentley, BU, Harvard, because you know I made my rounds to different for a lot of different reasons, and that was it. That's what was going on.
That was the way.
Whether it was white kids, black kids.
I was so in my zone. I didn't notice none of that.
That shit bridged everything.
You know what I mean? It's like I had blinders on. And
it literally bridged a cultural gap.
Seriously, man. So I just want to say thank you, man. Thank you for letting us come here.
Thank you for coming through, man.
So like I said, man, it's the Heatmakerz podcast. Beloved, you got anything to say? I'm happy, bro. Like this.
I'm happy, but
it was a tragic. It's been
a tough week, and I wanted to ask you about that because music and sports go hand in hand.
I didn't even think he remembered. He was like, I know my nigga that. He said, yo, we gotta work. He said, take my number. Took his number. And I was
a lot of people have stories like that. He was very approachable.
Right, and I was in LA for like 2 more days, so I hit him. I didn't hear back from him, so I'm like, he probably busy, man. I'll catch him on the next go round. And there was never the next go round.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
in hip hop too.
Yeah.
Throughout your journey, you've had a lot of moments like that where you work with people
Like
So
Pun.
not here. Okay.
Like Pun. Like my first introduction to the game was through Fat Joe and Pun. So my first couple studio sessions was with Pun in the studio, laughing, joking. You know what I mean? And then
He was nasty. He was nasty.
Yeah.
He was cold.
yeah, Pun's a beast, man. And then just to hear that he passed, like I remember I was going to a meeting downtown and Angie Martinez was on and she talked about Pun passing and that shit was like, it hits you because it's kind of like
I was just working on it.
none of us can run from this shit. Tomorrow ain't do what you got to do right now. Like especially with Kobe, you see it like Kobe. Come on, nigga. I thought that I would have died way before Kobe. And not to sound like that, but that's cool. It's like Michael Jackson. I thought Michael Jackson would outlive me.
Yeah.
Cause I couldn't see nothing happening to Mike. Like Mike was a figure in my childhood. I watched Mike be a teenager and turn into Thriller. Like, come on, man. So I think it's different when we see people that, like, we knew more about Kobe than we know about some of our family members. For a fact. So why wouldn't you feel a way? It's gonna hit everybody. You watch this man in the league from 17 years old, 18 years old until he was 40, 37, but 37, and then you knew him till he was 41. That's like that's like having a family member, a cousin.
That's my guy.
Right.
But yeah, man, I don't want to harp on that too much, but yeah, I do want to publicly acknowledge your work.
I appreciate it, man.
It's very rooted in the fabric of a lot of guys my age. Yeah.
Trying to make more, man.
DNA.
I'm trying to get more memories. El Capo was one. I'm trying to give y'all more of every section in your life.
Oh, man, listen.
You know what I mean?
Still
That's
blessed
gonna
with El
grow
Capo.
with you. Because El Capo's a more grown album. It's gonna grow. I want to make projects that's gonna grow with us.
That you could keep going back.
Right? You be like, nah, this nigga's on some shit. Like, what the fuck? And you can see my growth. You hear me from when I was 22 till I'm 42 now.
Yeah.
So you hear the difference in my music.
Questions keep coming to my mind. Is there anybody that you haven't worked with that you want to work with?
Yeah.
Eminem, 50 Cent, Jay-Z most definitely. And yeah, like, you know what I mean? And then jump into different genres, like, you know, Rihanna's, I did a record for Beyonce before, but I really want to do a record where we in the studio together and do music. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think you and a Rihanna joint would be fun.
yeah, because of the West Indian vibe, I think it'd be tough.
I think of that. Like, we need to make that happen. I don't know who need to.
That's a fact.
We need to make that connection work.
Speak it
man.
into existence,
Yes,
man.
yes.
So you are looking to get more into the R&B.
I mean,
just diversify.
it's all the same now, to be honest with you, man. This shit is hip hop and R&B. That shit is fused now. There is no separation. It's the same shit. It's just a vibe, man.
Another question.
Go ahead.
So, Diddy had some choice words for the Grammy board.
Right.
I
haven't heard what he said yet, by the way, but I saw that he said something. I haven't heard what he said.
I mean, you'll see it for yourself, but just to paraphrase, he basically, same old thing. Grammys have never properly acknowledged hip-hop or black culture. And
let me be honest with you, how I feel about shit. The Grammys is a fucking contest of whose balls is bigger anyway. If we really want to be real, it don't benefit the public.
Yeah.
But like, it's a room full of celebrities that say, you're good, no, you're good, no, you're better, you're the best. I don't give a shit about that. I'm not saying that if I was acknowledged for one, I wouldn't be happy about, of course. But I don't live and die by that. It don't really matter to me because it's not from the people.
Yeah.
It's from the Grammy board.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, however many people that is, that's not the people that really fuck with me.
Right.
Yeah.
You understand? So, you know, like, I'm sure Puff could say that because to him that's what it is. But to me, it's kind of like, I look at the overall thing. The overall Grammys is just a group of people patting each other on the back. That's all that shit is.
Yeah.
I don't really need that validation. I just know the feeling I make when I make certain shit, and that's all I need. I just need that feeling. If the people acknowledge it, I love it. If they don't, I just know how I feel.
Yeah. So, you have a lot of gold and platinum plaques behind you. Which one of these mean the most to you?
Diplomatic immunity. By far. And I'm not saying Joel's is like a close second. But Diplomatic Immunity, just because it was the closest you could get to EP and an album without executive producing the album. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that record out of all of them.
With the GOAT, Wayne.
Oh yeah, Wayne with the Carter too.
Oh my God.
I definitely got to get some more work with Wayne, man.
Yeah,
Super talented dude.
Yo,
Definitely got to work with Wayne.
that span he had.
I have no more questions.
Man, brother,
Thank you, my
appreciate
brother.
you, man. Appreciate you, man. Literally.